The opening part of the story sets the tone for the entire narrative. It begins in a place called the Galactic Hall of Peace, a massive chamber where leaders from thousands of alien civilizations meet to maintain order across the galaxy. This hall symbolizes diplomacy, law, and balance among the many species of the universe. It's the last place anyone expects violence, but that's exactly what happens. At the center of this scene is Ambassador Lyra Kane, a human woman representing Earth. She is calm, strong, and speaks with quiet confidence. Although she appears peaceful and diplomatic, there is a hidden edge to her. Unknown to most of the galaxy, Lyra is not just a representative. She is a highly trained operative, a warrior hidden in plain sight. The tension in the room builds when Emperor Vortal, the powerful and arrogant ruler of the Varn Dominion, stands up to challenge her. The Varn are an ancient and dangerous species that rule a large portion of the galaxy. The Emperor sees humans as weak and barbaric. He insults Earth and mocks Lyra for daring to speak as an equal in the council. Lyra does not back down. She delivers a firm warning. Humanity came in peace, but they will not tolerate disrespect or violence. Her calm response shows her strength, not physical, but moral and strategic. Then the story takes a dramatic turn. In front of the entire Galactic Council, Emperor Vortal strikes Lyra across the face with one of his talons. This is a shocking act. In galactic law, attacking a diplomat is not just a crime, it is an act of war. The entire chamber falls silent in horror. Everyone understands what has just happened. The Varn Empire has declared war on Earth. Lyra's response is powerful. She does not cry out or retaliate. She stands up slowly, blood running down her face, and stares directly at the Emperor. Her words are simple and chilling. "You have just made the last mistake of your reign." She then turns and calmly walks out of the hall, leaving behind a room full of stunned leaders. As she exits, she sends a single coded message back to Earth. It's time. This final moment signals the beginning of a major shift in the story. It marks the end of diplomacy and the beginning of a full-scale war. It also tells the reader that Lyra is not just a victim, she is a catalyst, the spark that will ignite a fire across the stars. This part of the story sets up the main conflict. A galaxy that has underestimated humanity. A human diplomat who is far more dangerous than she seems. And an arrogant emperor who just made the worst mistake of his life. After the shocking events in the Galactic Hall of Peace, Part 2 shifts the focus to humanity's response to the act of war committed by the Varn Empire. This section introduces new key characters and lays the foundation for the epic conflict that is about to unfold. The scene opens deep in space, in the Orion Expanse, where one of humanity's most powerful warships, the UNS Revenant, awaits orders. On board is General Ronan Vex, a hardened military leader known for his tactical mind and iron will. He receives a message from Lyra Kane, the human diplomat who was struck by Emperor Vortal. The message is short, but heavy with meaning. It's time. Those two words are the official trigger for Operation Wakefall, a secret war plan Earth had developed long ago in case diplomacy failed. It shows that while humanity pursued peace, it was never naive. The humans knew that a day might come when someone in the galaxy would test them, and they made sure they would be ready when it did. General Vex doesn't waste time. He orders the full mobilization of Earth's military forces and allied fleets. His tone is calm and cold. He knows that the galaxy is about to see a very different side of humanity. Captain Juno Hart, commander of the Revenant, joins him in preparing the fleet. She is younger, passionate, and fierce. Her loyalty to Lyra is personal, and her drive for justice is intense. The story then describes how the fleets of Earth rise. It's a powerful moment, emphasizing that humanity is not weak or scattered as many alien species believed. Instead, Earth launches an enormous force, 20 massive dreadnoughts, over 100 battlecruisers, and thousands of fighter ships. These ships are advanced, efficient, and terrifying. Their formation is described as a wall of steel and flame, ready to burn through anything in their path. This part also reveals more about the Varn Empire's strength. The Varn control half the galaxy, have countless fleets, and have ruled through fear for centuries. Their power is real and overwhelming. Humanity may be strong, but they are still facing a massive empire with centuries of experience in conquest. Despite the odds, there is no hesitation. Earth is not just fighting for pride, it's fighting for survival, respect, and the safety of its people. The tone of this section is full of tension and anticipation. A war is coming, and everyone involved knows that there will be heavy losses. But there's something else here too: resolve. The humans don't back down, they don't beg, they rise. This part of the story sets up the full-scale galactic war. It introduces Earth's military power, hints at old alliances, and paints a picture of determined human leadership. The reader is left with a feeling of excitement and dread, knowing that the calm is over and the storm is about to break. The scene is set at Delta 91, a remote outpost located on the edge of human-controlled space. It's not just a listening post or supply station, it's the front line, a place that now becomes the first target of the Varn retaliation. The Varn Empire sends 5 massive fleets believing they'll crush the humans with overwhelming force. Their goal is clear: destroy Earth's defenses quickly and send a message to the rest of the galaxy that no one can challenge their rule. Not even the humans, but the Varn vastly underestimate their opponent. At Delta 91, Captain Juno Hart commands the UNS Revenant, one of Earth's most advanced warships. She is fully aware of the scale of the enemy force, yet she stands firm. With her are several other human fleets prepared and waiting. The humans know they're outnumbered, but they have an edge: superior tactics, advanced AI combat drones, and unbreakable will. When the Varn fleets arrive, the stars themselves seem to ignite. Plasma lances slice through the black void, targeting key enemy vessels with surgical precision. Earth's warships move in tight, coordinated formations, responding in real time with support from tactical AI systems. Swarms of autonomous drone fighters pour into the field, dodging heavy fire and attacking with brutal efficiency. Captain Hart leads the offensive from the front. Her commands are fast and sharp, rallying her people in the middle of chaos. She orders flak cannons to sweep incoming bombers and pushes forward even as part of her ship takes damage. Her bravery and leadership inspire the fleet, but come at a cost. Despite human strength, the battle is savage. The Revenant's port side is hit, and half of Juno's crew is lost in a single blast. The death toll rises. The reader feels the emotional weight of war. Every victory is earned with blood. Yet, the humans do not retreat, instead they press harder. Human warships drive deep into the Varn formation, splitting their lines, isolating their command vessels and taking them out one by one. The Varn, shocked by the ferocity of the human counterattack, begin to break formation. Their fleets try to retreat, but they can't. Human drones and strike teams cut off their escape routes. The Varn commander sends distress calls, but it's too late. No Varn ships escape. The first major battle of the war ends with a complete human victory, but it's not a moment of celebration. The cost is high. The human crews mourn their losses. Captain Hart walks through the damaged sections of her ship, past the bodies of fallen soldiers. An officer, stunned by the destruction, asks her if it was worth it. Her reply is cold and clear. Yes, they hit Lyra. That means they hit Earth. Now we hit back. This moment reinforces one of the story's key HFY themes: human loyalty and resolve. Humans don't fight for conquest, they fight for each other. When one of their own is hurt, especially someone like Lyra Kane, they respond with full force, and they don't stop until justice is served. Part 3 delivers intense space action, emotional depth, and further raises the stakes. It shows that humanity is more than capable of matching ancient galactic powers, and when pushed, they can become something terrifyingly effective in war. This battle is only the beginning. The galaxy is starting to realize that Earth's silence was never weakness, it was patience. This section reveals Lyra's true nature and purpose. She was never just a face for human diplomacy. She was trained in deep infiltration, psychological warfare, and assassination. While the galaxy saw her as a soft-spoken ambassador, Earth always knew she was much more. A sleeper agent planted to gather intelligence, build contacts, and, if necessary, take down an empire from the inside. Now that Emperor Vortal has crossed the line, her second life begins. Disguised in alien armor and using a stealth suit laced with adaptive camouflage tech, Lyra sneaks onto the Varn homeworld. The capital city, Zarkala, is a massive fortress planet, ringed with defenses and full of soldiers. But she moves like a ghost. Her only weapons are a combat knife, her training, and the fear she sows. Lyra's goal is not only to reach the throne room, but to destabilize the Empire as she moves. She slips through barracks, slits the throats of enemy officers, plants explosives in war factories, and leaves trails of destruction wherever she passes. Every action is designed to cause chaos, fear, and confusion. As she moves deeper into the capital, stories begin to spread. Soldiers whisper about the ghost of Earth, an unseen assassin who kills without sound and disappears like smoke. Rumors grow, and fear spreads across the ranks of the Varn military. What was once a mighty empire begins to fracture from the inside. But Lyra does more than kill. She sows rebellion. She contacts enslaved and oppressed species within the Varn dominion, including the Quillari rebels, the Othari laborers, and even some Varn citizens who are disgusted by their emperor's brutality. With secret messages and silent sabotage, she inspires these groups to rise. One powerful scene shows her speaking softly to a frightened young aide who accidentally discovers her. Instead of killing him, she gives him a choice and a message. "Tell your emperor, the worst thing he did wasn't hitting me. It was underestimating me." That line echoes the main HFY theme of this part. Underestimating humanity is a fatal mistake. Lyra is a symbol of that truth. The Varn thought she was weak. Instead, she becomes the weapon that turns their empire to dust from the inside. As the resistance begins to grow and the Varn military is spread thin trying to stop her, the humans prepare for their final assault on the Varn homeworld. Everything is falling into place not just because of ships and guns, but because one woman walked into the heart of enemy territory and broke their spirit. This part of the story is slower than the previous space battle, but it's just as intense. It builds suspense and delivers deep emotional and psychological impact. The reader watches as fear replaces arrogance among the Varn. They realize too late that Lyra is not just a symbol, she is a nightmare in motion. The section ends with a sense of rising momentum. The Varn are falling apart. Their people are turning against them, their armies are afraid. And at the center of it all, Lyra Kane is walking straight toward the throne, leaving death and rebellion in her wake. The emotional and action-packed climax of the story. The final confrontation between Ambassador Lyra Kane and Emperor Vortal, set against the backdrop of a collapsing empire. The events here are the direct result of everything that has come before: humanity's tactical brilliance, Lyra's infiltration, and the rising rebellion within the Varn dominion. The chapter begins with chaos reigning across the Varn homeworld, Zarkala. The once proud planet is now under siege, not just from human warships above, but from within. Rebel factions have ignited across the surface. Factories burn, government towers fall. Entire legions of Varn troops are defecting, surrendering, or fleeing. Above the planet, humanity's combined fleet has arrived. Led by General Ronan Vex and Captain Juno Hart, Earth's dreadnoughts tear through orbital defenses. Precision strikes. Avoid civilian centers but destroy every military outpost. The sky itself seems to burn as Earth's war machine crushes the final resistance. The humans have come not just to fight but to end the war. Meanwhile, on the ground, Lyra Kane reaches the Imperial Citadel, the massive fortress that holds the Varn throne. Getting there hasn't been easy. She's wounded, burns across her shoulder, blood seeping from a cut on her side. But she pushes forward. Every step is powered by her mission, to bring justice not just for herself but for Earth, and for every world the Varn have crushed. Inside the Citadel, Emperor Vortal is in disarray. His elite guards are gone. His advisors have either fled or turned on him. Even the once proud banners of his empire lie in ruins. And then from the shadows, Lyra appears. Their final confrontation is more than physical, it's symbolic. Vortal sees the human he once struck, the one he called weak and unworthy, but now she stands before him like a storm-given form. He tries to threaten her, claiming reinforcements are coming. She replies with one line, "Look out your window." He turns and sees the skies lit with fire. Human ships circle his palace. His people rise against him. The Varn Empire is no more. Still he attacks. The battle between them is brutal. Vortal is massive and strong, with razor-sharp claws and battle-hardened fury. Lyra, though injured, fights with cold precision. Her training, speed, and focus turn the tide. She dodges his slashes, lands strike after strike, and finally drives her blade through his chest. As the Emperor falls, he gasps in disbelief, asking, "How did humans become this?" Lyra answers, "You taught us how to be monsters. We just learned faster." His body collapses beside his shattered throne. At that moment, General Vex's voice echoes across the planet through an open comm line. "To all surviving Varn forces, your Emperor is dead. Lay down your weapons. Earth will show mercy to those who surrender, but we will not bow. Not now. Not ever." The message marks the end of the war. Across Zarkala, the fighting slows. Weapons drop. Varn soldiers kneel. For the first time in generations, peace is no longer held by fear, but by the fall of tyranny. This part delivers the climax not just of the story's action, but of its emotional journey. The once dismissed human diplomat has become the avenger of worlds. The arrogant emperor who mocked Earth dies at her hands. And the galaxy watches as a new power rises, not from cruelty, but from justice and resolve. It's the payoff to all, the suspense, battles, and sacrifices that came before. And it sets the stage for a powerful, reflective conclusion. The war is over. The tyrant is dead. But part 6 of the story, After the Fire, shifts from explosions and combat to reflection, rebuilding, and the emotional consequences of humanity's victory. This final section closes the story with weight, meaning, and the lasting impact of everything that came before. The setting opens days after Emperor Vortal's death. The Varn homeworld, Zarkala, is quiet for the first time in centuries. Fires still burn in the distance, but the people no longer cower in fear. They look up at the sky with hope and uncertainty. The flags of the Empire have fallen, and Earth's coalition forces now stand as peacekeepers, not conquerors. We see Ambassador Lyra Kane, recovering in a quiet medical bay overlooking the ruined skyline. Her wounds are healing, but she carries visible and invisible scars. Soldiers and civilians alike walk past her room, many nodding in silent respect. She's no longer just a diplomat. She's a symbol of resistance, justice, and what it means to fight for something greater than yourself. Despite her success, Lyra doesn't feel like a hero. She reflects on the cost, the lives lost at Delta 91, the friends who died in the final assault, and the pain of knowing she had to become what she once feared, a weapon. In a quiet moment, she speaks with Captain Juno Hart, who now commands the Earth fleet in orbit. Their conversation is short but powerful. Hart admits she didn't fully understand what Lyra was until she saw her in action. Lyra responds, "I was never the nightmare. I just became it when the galaxy gave me no other choice." That line sums up the final theme of the story. Humanity didn't seek war, but when war came, it fought with everything it had. And in doing so, it became something feared, respected, and unbroken. Meanwhile, General Ronan Vex oversees the final stages of the Varn surrender agreements. He makes it clear to the galaxy, Earth has no desire to rule others. It won't become a new empire. Instead, it calls for a new council made up of free species, where no voice will be silenced again. It's a bold act that surprises even Earth's allies. Other species begin to step forward, the Quillari, Othari, and even former Varn citizens to join this new alliance. For the first time in galactic history, Power isn't based on bloodlines or fear, but on choice, unity, and shared protection. There's a brief scene showing Varn children being fed by human soldiers, and alien medics treating wounded on both sides. It's small, but emotional, proof that even in victory humanity holds on to its heart. The story ends with Lyra standing on a balcony overlooking the city. She holds the broken crest of the Varn Empire in one hand, and a small Earth insignia in the other. She's not smiling, she's not crying. She's simply watching the dawn rise, knowing the galaxy has changed forever. The final line of the story reflects that feeling. Humanity came in peace, was struck in arrogance, and answered in fire. But when the smoke cleared, they were still human, and the stars would never forget it.